live. Welcome back. I forgot something. Oh, yeah. We are live. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. We hope that you guys are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Huge show in store for you tonight. Brian Kelly just wrapped up his following comments of the weekend. We'll talk about some of those. Looks like another game for true freshman linebacker Whit Weeks is in store for us this weekend. We will touch on that. Your 5 keys to victory on this beautiful, glorious, I belched, Thursday afternoon. What are my keys to victory to beating down this team? Sam Pittman deactivated his Twitter account. What's going on? Arkansas fans, why is your coach actively deactivating his Twitter? What are we doing? What are those? Is Arkansas a little bit on the run even before they kicked the ball off? We'll talk about that. Yes, he deactivated his account. He deactivated his Twitter account at Coach Sam Pittman. Let me look it up again. Deactivated. Says this account doesn't exist. My man's in trouble, man. My man's in trouble. So we'll talk on that a little bit too as well. We'll go around college football. I'll give my thoughts on Ohio State, Notre Dame. We got A&M, Auburn, Ole Miss, Alabama. I'll give my final thoughts on that. UCLA, Dante Moore starting again this weekend. We got a lot to touch on, so we will do that. We got a lot to get into. And as we do every Tuesday and Thursday, hashtag Ask Blake, thoughts, questions, concerns. Fire them inside of the Rudy Crew chat, and we'll get to as many of them as we can as the show goes on. Where is everybody listening to us at? Where is everybody listening to us from tonight? Blaze already knew what the business was. Says listening from I can't say that. Blaze, how do I say that? Mont Bellevue, Texas. You know I only got to like the 3rd grade, Blaze. Mont Bellevue. Jackie says the big city of Central Columbus, Georgia's in the house. Mobile, Harahan, says Brett B. Lake Charles, South Mississippi, Covington, New Mexico is in the house, says Jason. Jason, what's there to do out there in New Mexico? What's there out there to do in New Mexico outside of, Breaking Bad? New Orleans in the house, says Chris H. Ringgold, Creole, Louisiana. Austin, Texas, says Lauren. Finally here on time today, she says. Good to have you here on time. We do. I'm going to mix it back and forth. We're going to do 6 and 7 on Thursdays throughout the week, just because Brian Kelly's radio show goes at 7. I like to listen to it. I don't like the conflicts. I don't like the conflicts. Charlie Bennett says praying for y'all. Danny says LFG Blake. Praying for what, Charlie? Praying for what? Good to see you in here, Danny. His team. I hadn't talked Florida State Clemson on here this week, not on AYS. Kip Jennings says Auburn, Alabama. They allegedly are getting themselves a Buc-ee's up there in Auburn. He says by way of Pensacola, Florida. They're getting themselves a Buc-ee's. Why can't there be a Buc-ee's like near me, like on my drive home every day? Like Buc-ee's, what are we doing? What are we doing? Speaking of new things, by the way, Shout out to our good friends over at Home Field Apparel, a new sponsor of the Ruffino and Joe Show. But we're going to talk about it here too. If you see some gear you like on Home Field Apparel, use Ruffino Joe promo code at checkout. Get a little discount, man. Get a little discount. RUFFINO. RUFFINO. Joe, get yourself a little discount. Anyway. Akon and LGZ says Auburn already has a Buc-ee's. Stop by there on the way home from North Carolina. What you doing out in North Carolina? Flooded with Auburn fans. Yeah, they're getting another one. I saw it the other day. They're getting two. How nuts is that? What is there really to do in Auburn? My camera keeps shaking. Maybe it's this. I don't know. Blaze says, you got it right, Bellevue. Right outside of Baytown. I got you. Bellevue. Kip Jennings says, Buc-ee's is up and running. Go Tigers. I'm in the wrong Tiger Town. It's true. Winston-Salem says, Jamie Post, North Carolina proudly wearing my Go Tiger shirt in front of the Wake Forest Demon Deacon fans after Paul Skeens shoved it right up their keisters. Yeah, Paul Skeens got shut down for the year. Parrott said, you thrown 200 innings? Skirp! Skirp! No way, Jose. No way, Jose. No way, Jose. Not our Paulie. Not our Paulie. All right, we got a lot to get into. Let's do it here tonight. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all those social media groups. You're on Facebook. You guys continue to just outperform 1 million views. Actually, I lied. It was actually close to 1.5 million. We were doing the wrong thing when we went in our internal meeting. 1.5 million just on live viewership. Live viewership, not the videos we post. None of that. 1.5 million live views. Everybody that watches on Facebook, thank you so much for tuning in. Do us a favor, as you always do, by hitting the like and share. Share to all those social media groups. Share to all of those social media pages. You listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell. So close to getting to that 6K mark in subscribers. Subscribe, notification bell. Subscribe, notification bell. I literally will give somebody money if you get like 100 people to subscribe. Like, I will give you money. Go do it, man. Tell all your Tiger friends. Tell all of your Tiger friends to subscribe. Do your boy a solid. Tell them to hit the notification bell. Okay? We appreciate it. Wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe, as we are coming ever so close to getting in the top 100 of top college football podcasts on the audios. Ruh-roh. Just a little small kid from Franklinton. 102. Don't let your boy get in the hundreds. Don't let your boy get in the hundreds. Gonna start taking all your money and your women. Not your women, because I'm proudly married. And I'm proudly married. You all already know. Rancel, I see you in here trying to be a bot. Don't be a bot. Jude says, go Tigers. Alexandra says, from the 318, but watching from Corpus Christi, Texas. You got to love it. You got to love it. All right, let's get rolling. Everybody do us a favor. Like I said, if you're watching us on Fubo TV, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get to the 5 keys, the 5 things that I think you have to do to win on Saturday. Sam Pittman deactivates his Twitter account. Looks like things are kind of getting a little nutsy over there in Arkansas. We'll talk about that. BK gives his final press conference before the game on Saturday, gives a update on Coach Jimmy Lindsey that seems really promising. So we'll talk about that as well. So a lot to get into tonight. Let's talk about our good friends over at betonline.ag, our good friends over at GM Varno & Sons. Don't go anywhere. We're back next. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to service in your vehicle than GM Varnado & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down on the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Varnado & Sons. Go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992. 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. All right. We got a lot to touch on. So 5 keys to victory. Now, I just mentally made a switch. Let me talk about what Brian Kelly just mentioned and talked about in his press conference before we get to the 5 keys, because that's going to take the 5 keys of victory are just going to take so much longer than Brian Kelly's update that he just gave. Number one, and for sure, is the update on Jimmy Lindsey. Brian Kelly was asked about, I guess former or still is defensive line coach Jimmy Lindsey. He said that Coach Lindsey is about halfway through his treatments, and all reports are very positive. There's not a timetable on his return yet, but with him in the middle of recovery. But the thing is, man, it's good to see that he has a good bill of health. He's recovering really good, and you do hope that you can get him back, man. I mean, you've had a revolving door at that position. And at the end of the day, like we talked about with Greg Brooks last night, man, this is just football. And you don't want to see somebody, badly hurt or injured because of something that's out of their control, right? Like you don't want to see that. I mean, I don't want to see that. I don't know about you guys, but I sure as hell don't want to see that. But good to see that Coach Jimmy Lindsey is getting much better. Still prayers to him and his family. Brian Kelly gave a update today on injuries. Omar Speights is doubtful. Brian Kelly said that he was probable on Monday, but now it's looking like the really talented linebacker is doubtful, which means that Whit Weeks will more than likely get his second start of his young career. I do think that changes some things. What do I mean by that? Look, man, if you have back-to-back weeks, pun intended, where Whit Weeks, pun intended, goes out there and plays at a high level, then you're not going to take him out. I know that Omar's a senior. I know that you'll probably rotate him in there, but Whit Weeks is going to play. This will be a very good challenge for him in a quarterback that is very seasoned, and a quarterback that's very experienced and, quite honestly, is really talented at running the football. He's got to find ways to bring him down. He's going to have to bring the heat because he is a 220-ish pound linebacker going up against a 250-pound quarterback. KJ last week appeared that he did not want to get he didn't want that smoke. He just really didn't want the smoke, if you will, when it came to running and getting in any kind of physical contact with guys, and if he could avoid it, he did. With Weeks, if he has another good game and week, I would very much like to see him continue to be in that rotation. Also in that injury report, Ovie Oghoufo is probable, which means that I do think that you see a lot more of Deshaun Womack, who has changed his number to number 16. I still think that you're going to see Harold Perk. Basically, defensively, I think that you're going to see a lot of the same things that you did a week ago. I don't think that there's anything different, maybe other than the pressure that you're going to bring at KJ. We'll talk about that in the 5 keys to victory, as we talked about last night. And Mason Taylor's probable. So listen, if there's 3 guys that are hurting out or could be out for this game, the one that I don't know if you need Mason Taylor to play to win this game. I don't think that you do. But you still want him, right? Like, you still want Mason Taylor out there. If not, then Mag Markway, Kamarian Pimpton, both get the reps. Gilbreth gets the reps. But Mason Taylor, you want him out there. He's too good of a player for you not. You've seen him in the SEC. You've seen him in big-time games. I hope that he's able to be out there. Is it lingering? How much is it lingering? And look, if you start putting it on Arkansas's arse, take him out. Don't risk anything. Do not risk anything if you're putting it on that ass early. So we'll see how they and this staff utilizes Mason Taylor. Here are our 5 keys to victory. Now, this is usually where we spend our longest time and our longest segment. Last night, and that's pretty, by the way, let me back up. That's all that Brian Kelly said. I mean, he didn't really say anything that you did not already know. Some of these questions, we got to get better, or this media, this beat has to get better with asking better questions. Like, they're so repetitive. Brian, you said this after Florida State. Guys, he's answered that question 5 times already. Like, I don't know what you want from him. Like, some of this stuff is so stupid. I sympathize with him on how stupid these questions can be. But nevertheless, let the dudes that are constantly asking questions, the ones that ask real questions, let them do that. Here are the 5 keys to victory. I said this, and we spoke about this ad nauseum last night. You got to get after KJ Jefferson. You got to get after KJ. Make him beat you with his arm. I can live with and look, I don't think that this is going to happen, right? Like, I do not believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is going to happen. But if it does, in a year that seems to be very chaotic in college football, if you do wind up losing to Arkansas, the only way that I want to lose to Arkansas is KJ beating me through the air. Make him beat you through the air. They just don't have a lot of great weapons on the outside. It's a good test for you because neither did Grambling, really. And Grambling found a way to get after you a little bit in the first quarter. Go at him with everything you have. There's not going to be a lot that LSU is going to run that KJ has not seen. Can they pick it up with a beat-up offensive line? You know, last night I went on a Arkansas podcast, and they said not only are they moving a new guy to left tackle, they're shuffling guys in new positions, and guys are hurt. That is the ribeye steak of what you have to do to win. This game is predicated on your front 4 dudes getting after KJ and not breaking contain, because he can run. Like, don't get it twisted. You can't just rush him like you did Will Rogers. You have to still keep contained while getting after his ass. Send pressure, send blitzes, hit him as much as you can while he's in the pocket legally. If you get after him, I don't think KJ's built to be a guy that can sit there in the pocket all day with his arm and beat you through the air. If he does that, that'd be the first time in his life that he did it. It'd be the first time. And I would live with you getting beat by KJ beating you through the air, because you got to get after him, get as many hats to him as you can, and bring that big walrus down. Come at him with safety blitzes, run stunts, go on delayed blitzes, spy him with Whit Weeks or Greg Penn. Whatever you want to do what you got to do. But if you get I really want to see 4 sacks in this game, man. I really do. If you got a beat-up offensive line, a quarterback who's also beat up, doesn't look like Rocket Sanders, their All-American running backs going, there's no business why you can't get after him. None. If we're sitting here Saturday night and this defensive line did not get after them, we have issues. Now, what do I think Arkansas is going to come in here and do? What I think Arkansas is going to come in here and do is try to find ways to run the football, and you just got to continue to get after them, because I think that Sam Pittman knows that if he has any chance in this game, he's going to have to get unconventional. Watch for some trick plays. Play disciplined. I mean, hell, BYU hit Arkansas on a double pass last week. I think that you should be ready for something crazy like that. I really do. Because head up, man-to-man, they cannot beat you. That's number one. We talked about that a lot. Repeat of last week, but let me break down what do I mean a repeat of last week. Guys, I do think it would take a lot for you to do what you did a week ago. That is what you did offensively a week ago is just incredible, right? 2019 type of stuff. It was unbelievable the way that you threw the football, the way that you were able to get to the outside with the running backs, the quarterbacks, the pass protection, the running backs in pass pro. It was phenomenal. It was electric offensive performance. But repeat of one thing. I want to see you go after their corners, Dwight McLaughlin included. Trell Harris is a player for Kent State that Arkansas played in week 2. He had 4 catches for 78 yards and a score. Well, the score got called back. Let me reframe that. He still had 4 catches for 78 yards. If Trell Harris can do that against that DB room, Malik Neighbors needs to be fed like he is a guy that was in solitary confinement in Angola prison. Right? Like, feed him. Feed him like you would do me after I wake up after my afternoon nap, okay? You got to feed number 8, because the more that you get the ball in his hands, the more that absolute beast of a dude is going to make you pay. Continue to throw the ball over the middle of the field. The biggest truth that everybody wants to tell you that, oh, well, you know what? The difference was last week, Jaden throwing the long balls. Yeah, true. True. Him hitting Malik on long passes was a big deal. I'm not going to argue that. But it's how you set those things up that get you there. When Brian Thomas caught multiple passes across the middle, those safeties started creeping in a little bit. When they did, they got hit over the top. Can Jaden Daniels in back-to-back weeks I don't think he's going to go 30 of 34. If he does, then that's like we're going to start talking about some guys. 30 completions in a game is unreal. Like, you have guys in the NFL, you have Heisman Trophy winners that didn't do what Jaden Daniels did a week ago. Like literally, that did not do what Jaden Daniels did a week ago. To ask that same type of performance out of him is, I think, a little unrealistic. But if he does, remember in the beginning of the year when you talked about those Heisman odds and thoughts, he will start getting back in that convo. I promise you, he will start getting back in that convo. Repeat of last week and getting your playmaker, your best playmaker, the ball. All 11 to the ball. I talked about this. I probably should have put number 3 at number 2 and then to stay defensively. All 11 players to the ball, not just defensively. So what do I mean by that? Last week in the running game, now I'm going to put 3 and 4 together to some extent. Last week in the running game, after I saw like a running back break a tackle, I saw the offensive line just kind of like walking and jogging. I know that Brad Davis has got on their ass about that. I've heard some things. On defense, you got to get all 11 to the ball. Same offensively. I want you to go out there this week, and what your number 4 is establish a running game. Finally get that running game pushing the ball and running dudes over. Get after them up front. I want 11 dudes going out there knocking somebody's head off. I want you just as pissed off as I am, because I will tell you, for whatever reason, for this game, I'm pissed. Like, I want to go out there and just beat the dog shit out of Arkansas. I want to go out there and finish them. Okay? Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the, they wear that god-awful maroon, and I just see red, and I just want to go after them like a bull, Defensively, to take down some of these bigger backs. Guys, Rocket Sanders is not playing, but they still got multiple backs that are 230 pounds plus, along with KJ. Sometimes you're not going to be able to tackle some of their backs one-on-one. This is an effort game. It's an effort game. You got to go out there and compete to the highest level. Number 4, let me expound on this a little bit. Look, you had a good running game against Grambling. You couldn't run the football against Florida State, and you didn't run the football well enough with your backs. In my opinion, you did run the ball well. Don't get what I'm saying twisted. But, Logan Diggs from the backs only had 9 carries for 41 yards. I kind of want to see you get a little bit better there. I want to see you get better there. Jaden does not have to throw the ball 34 times for me. He doesn't. If he does, that's great. I mean, I know he didn't play the entire game, and in the second half, LSU took the pedal off the metal to some extent. I want to see Logan Diggs get about 15 to 17 carries on Saturday. I want to be physical with these dudes. I want to break them. Like, you want to help your quarterback out and him not running the football as much. Get that running game going. Find ways to get that running game going. Even if it is a pass, do it as an extended handoff, right? Like, get the back out of the backfield in the flat. Let him throw it to him. It's like an extension of the run. You hear that all the time. I want to see the backs get a little involved in this one. I'm cautiously optimistic. Now, I haven't said this. I haven't said this in any of the 3 weeks. I do think that you can run the ball a little bit on Arkansas. I want to take it to them. I want to knock some guns' head loose. All right? Knock their head loose. Number 5 and final. I think Sam Pittman is spiraling. What do I mean by that? Guys, if you go to Twitter, and we're going to talk about this, just perceptions of the game here. If you go to Twitter and you search at Coach Sam Pittman, it says that this account is no longer, or this account doesn't exist. Let me ask you a question. If Brian Kelly would have lost to Florida State and then would have deactivated his Twitter account or his social media accounts, what would you have done? You would have said that there's a problem. Now, nobody's talking about this. Nobody's making this a big deal, but I am. If you want to not show your team that there's not an issue, what are you doing? Are you trying to block out the noise? Is it the boob jokes? Man, I'm a big dude too. People make jokes about me all the time. I do think that Sam Pittman could be spiraling here a little. I think that there is blood in the water. I really do think that there's blood in the water when it comes to Arkansas football. And are you going to be the team that goes full Mortal Kombat and finishes them? This is a rivalry game. And if they are spiraling, they didn't do anything good for you against when you played them the year that Orgeron got fired. They wanted to come in here and finish you too. Well, F them. If their coach is going to be deactivating his Twitter account and feel some type of way because his fans are talking shit about him, well, man, you're listening to way too many people on the outside. That kind of tells me that you don't feel good about this game. Now, you LSU fans know this. If your head coach would have done that, you would have made a big deal. It would be all over the place. But because it's Arkansas, and because not a lot of people give a damn, and Sam Pittman's a happy-go-lucky guy, and it's just Arkansas, nobody cares. In the wise words of Liu Kang, finish him. I can like Sam Pittman all the live long day. All the live long day. If I'm Brian Kelly, I'm putting the pedal to the metal. You're up 14, 21, 28 points. I'm not slowing it down. Maybe I take out Jaden, right? Maybe I take out some of the starters. Yeah, you don't want him getting hurt against Arkansas, but there's got to be a level of finishing off an opponent. To that extent, you win this game and you're 3-1, you're back in the national title picture. I know it's only 4 games. You're a quarter of the way through your season. Guys, after Saturday, you're a quarter of the way through your season. It doesn't feel like it. It seems as if football just got here, and it did. When Saturday rolls around and that ball's kicked off at 11 a.m. and Florida State and Clemson are playing, you're a quarter of the way through your college football season. Right? With all of that being said, you got to be consistent. You got to want to go out there and be consistent. Let's call it what it is. In the 18-ish months that Brian Kelly has been in Baton Rouge, you've had a lot of times of a lot of success, a lot of times where you lost and where growth needed to happen. And it has happened. Last Saturday against Mississippi State was the most complete game that you have played under Brian Kelly. The Brian Kelly that was at Notre Dame and the consistency and the dominance that those teams had, they just didn't have the green grass athletes. That's why they lost. That's why I think they're losing to Ohio State on Saturday. Bottom line, you got to find a way to have back-to-back games where you're consistent and you're highly consistent against Power 5 SEC opponents. If you start doing that, man, you start gaining a lot of confidence. Let's be consistent, man. Let's not have this one up and down. I know it's a rivalry game. I know the Battle of the Boot is on the line. F them. I don't like them. They don't like us. I got a lot of buddies that are Arkansas fans. Love them to death. But when that white line is crossed, I don't talk to them. I don't like them. You're an enemy to me. I'm serious. I'm serious. You know why they call them Razorbacks, huh? Because it's the mascot of what their women look like. All right. Player X says Mortal Kombat reference, LOL, nice. I'm serious. I am dead serious. Here's the truth. Because I don't think anybody really has the balls to tell you. They don't have the marbles to tell you this. There is not a team that you will play in the regular season from here on out more talented than you. From top to bottom. It's not. There's not. Well, Blake, what about Alabama? What about them? They got just as much to prove as anybody else. I don't know if they walk out of that game on Saturday against Ole Miss unscathed. They don't have the better quarterback. They don't have the better quarterbacks, plural. I would take Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier over anybody in their room. I don't think they have the better running backs. I don't think that they definitely don't have the better offensive line. Their offensive line, guys, have given up 10 sacks in the last 2 weeks. 10. They sure as shit they don't have a better wide receiver core. They don't have a better defensive line, and I am going to stand by that. If Whit Weeks finds a way to continue to be the linebacker that we saw last week, they don't have the better linebacking core. The only thing that I think that they're better at UN is DB because they got Kool-Aid. By the way, I know that Alabama sucks and everything about them sucks. That might be the coolest nickname in college athletics, Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Doesn't Kool-Aid McKinstry sound like, when you hear the name Kool-Aid McKinstry, doesn't that sound like someone who used to be a mob boss of an Irish mob? Like the Kool-Aid McKinstry owns an Irish pub. Kool-Aid. This man's name is Kool-Aid. 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 There is nobody in this conference, or let me not say in the conference. There is nobody that you will play in the regular season that is better than you. Arkansas is just another team in the path. Take that ass out of there. Jordan fades back. Swish. And that's the game. Your Honor. Barry with a $9.99 super chat says, if LSU is truly a playoff contender, they will beat Arkansas by 20 plus. Here's the problem I have. I agree with you, Barry. Barry. By the way, it's a great name. You ever seen the movie, the TV show Barry on Netflix, by the way? Fantastic. Not Netflix, what it is? HBO. Fantastic. I love the name Barry. I agree with you. If that is the case, and thank you so much for the super chat. If that is the truth in the case, then someone's going to have to explain to me why everybody is freaking out for we're back. Texas. Because they look like Rudy Poo against Rice. Until the fourth quarter last week against Wyoming, they looked like hot ass with a side of grits. There has not, outside of Florida State, there has not been a team that I've looked at that's, and not just because it's LSU, there's not been anybody that looked dominant. I thought, quite frankly, before last week, the only team that I had saw that was playing like just a damn G, but they didn't play nobody, was Michigan. And last week, J.J. McCarthy went out there and threw 3 picks. 1, 2, 3 picks. So I don't know. I agree with what Barry's saying. I agree. H-Town says, I don't think of mobsters when I think Kool-Aid. All mobsters had nicknames. Fat Tony Salerno. I mean, they're calling man fat. Let's look this up really quickly. Best Italian mob nicknames. One guy was named, okay, so here's just what I'm seeing off of a quick Google search. Johnny Sausage Barbardo. Carmine the Cigar Gelante. Anthony Tony Bagels Cavesi. One guy, Pooch DeStefano. Frank Meatball Bellatoni. Luigi Baby Shacks. Sammy the Bull Gravano, which he's got a podcast now, believe it or not. You got dudes out here named The Sausage. I wonder if when he, never mind, I ain't gonna say it. This is a family show. The missing link. Oh, God. Meatball. All right, we got to take a quick break. Let's go around college football. I'll get to all of your questions. So this is what I want you to do. Thoughts, questions, concerns. If you want something read inside the chat, do it right now. Now, super chats get answered first. If you want to see our show continue to succeed, you will help us by sending us a super chat. It's just the truth. Hashtag Ask Blake. We'll get to all your comments. We'll talk a little college football, and we'll get out of here. Let's talk about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. My good friend Carol Foss over at State Farm. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
By the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Whether you've been injured in an accident, you're preparing for a future with your estate planning, you're getting ready to close in on a real estate deal, or you're about to welcome a new addition through adoption into your family, or you're facing criminal charges, you need very experienced attorneys, and that is what the Drake Williams Law Firm will be able to do for you in navigating the legal system. The door to their cozy office in historic downtown Ponchatoula has been open since 1981. They have helped thousands and thousands of Louisiana families and individuals win cases, close on real estate deals, and regain that peace of mind. Their lawyers over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vicnair, are very determined, compassionate, and dedicated to their craft. It's the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by.
Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Foss and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Foss has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. Blake the Pause Ruffino, says AB. Okay, what would my Italian mafia nickname be? What would my Italian mafia nickname be? Ryan says, I just heard meatball and Skip Berkman's voice sounding like curveball. Okay, yeah. So if you don't know, I've been accused of doing a really good Skip Berkman impression. A really, really, really good Skip Berkman impression. When Skip used to say curveball, he'd go, curveball. It's a long L. Long L's and long tongue roll, pause, when he says curveball. I told Bird to throw him the curveball. Meatball. And then it gets he gets like a little nasal thing there at the end. Curveball. Player X on YouTube with a $9.99 super chat says, just supporting y'all. Thanks, man. Or lady. Says no comment needed. Also, Buck Fama. Or we can say on this platform, fuck Bama. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you for the support. Yeah, every time you guys do that, man, it really helps us. It really does help us. I really appreciate it. Y'all are paying producer Zach down here, producer Pooh. Go straight to them. I never see a cent. Never see a cent. He says he's a dude. Okay. Good to see that you're a dude. Thank you for the support, man. Royce says Blake Ruffling Feathers Ruffino. I want to. Why can't I just have like a cool nickname? Like David says Blake the Take Ruffino. Okay, I don't mind that. Curveball. I don't mind that. The Beard. What about Blake the Beard? No, not Italian enough. Kevin says hashtag Ask Blake. Haven't seen a lot of Trey Holly. Yeah, you're not going to. Even in the past 2 games where we score a lot and get out of hand, is it that he's just not that ready? I don't think he's ready. Or maybe his pass pro needs work. Yeah, I don't think he's ready. He's going to take a red shirt. And I know he might not like that, but, I mean, are you going to play Caleb Jackson over him? There's not a running back on that roster right now that you play Trey Holly over. I don't want to hear your what about John Emery? No. Ray Bergeron says, Ash Blake, what's your honest and realistic opinion on LSU finishing the regular season with just 1 loss and winning the SEC championship game? So, Ray, that's a good question. Here's my thought on that. My thought on that is it's achievable. Like, just because you lost to Florida State and you got blown out in that fourth quarter, just the fourth quarter, I think it's still very realistic. I don't like going on the road in back-to-back weeks. I don't like going on the road against Ole Miss. And, if Ole Miss wins and beats Bama, you don't think that, you might have some guys in that LSU locker room who starts looking a little forward to that game. That's why I'm not picking LSU to cover. I think that they can get 14 to 17 points. I think 18 is a little too much and rich for me. But you're more talented than everybody on your schedule. You're more talented than Ole Miss. You're more talented than Missouri. You're more talented than Army. You're more talented than Florida. You're more talented than Alabama. A&M, if there's one team that can score with you, it's A&M. It's A&M. I think Auburn's going to get beat down this weekend. I think people made too massive of a judgment on A&M losing to Miami, and Miami's a good team. But they scored on Miami. It's not, Jimbo, people are making fun of Jimbo, but people made fun of Jimbo because of what they were doing offensively. It was never what they were doing defensively. Defensively, they had been fine. Guys, they were the number 1 pass defense all of last year. Number 1. They are not good this year. Offensively, he's let Bobby Petrino do it, and he stayed out of it, and he's given his thoughts and what they should do. And they've looked good offensively. They've looked really good offensively. there are going to be tough games. Like, don't get what I'm saying twisted, Kevin. You know what I mean? Like, don't get what I'm saying twisted. And I know that you're not. But there's not a team more talented than you. Guys, after what Jane Daniels did last week, you think that there's anybody more talented than him in this conference? Like, are you for sure? Are you 1,000% for sure? And if there is somebody, he's probably on the same roster. That's the truth. Can you do it? Yes, but you got to be focused and locked in. You got to be focused and locked in. Royce says, has Diggs solidified RB1? Yep. And says something about what's up with Mason Smith? Nothing. He's back knocking on some rust. Chris, I'm not reading that. Deadeye says, Blake Burrito Rufino. See, and I thought you were cool because you had the deer camera on as your profile pic. You know, burrito. I actually freaking love burritos, though. Linda Young says, Blake, when do we get to meet Baby Joel? Hold on. All right, sorry for the absence. She's getting changed. I told my wife to bring her here when they're done. Yeah, y'all hadn't met Baby Joel yet, have you? Y'all haven't met my little daughter. Ben, y'all have met. Y'all met him last night. Jude says burritos are elite. I agree. Andrew Paul Sub Martin says Blake Trenches Rufino. Okay. I like that, Paul Sub. You already got yours. Yours is Paul Sub. Paul Sub, how did you get that name? I forgot how you got that name. The Ball Buster. I'll be busting balls. Pause. Yeah. All right. So around college football, Ben gave my picks last night, but let's talk about some of the big ones. I do think Ole Miss wins. I do think Ole Miss beats Alabama on the road. The only reason why I'm taking the 7, and thank you for giving me 7 points on that, is I just don't think that Bama can score enough. I really don't. I know that Milroe's going to start. I know Milroe's back. I just don't think that they can do it. Oregon and Colorado, I think Oregon's going to be way too much for Colorado. But I did sprinkle on that plus 21 on Colorado, though. We'll see how that works out. State and Clemson, man. I like Florida State a lot. But going into Howard's Rock at 11 a.m. is not easy. It's not easy. And I will tell you, Florida State fans are not humble human beings. They are not humble human beings at all. I in a way, I want Florida State to get humbled a little bit because their fans are obnoxious as fuck. They're still in my DMs. Obnoxious as hell. So we'll see. Uh-oh. Hey, my sweet girl. Say hey. They wanted to say hello to you. This is Baby Joel. Sorry for everybody listening to the podcast. Oh, is that you? Mwah. You just took a shower or took a bath? You just took a bath? Huh? Say bye-bye. 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 All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. my blue-eyed, blonde-haired Italian. My blue-eyed, blonde-haired Italian. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I got a lot of blonde-haired aunts around this thing. Not a lot of them. They crazy as hell. If you see an Italian with blonde hair, you better run. I'm just a fair warning. Also, Ben's one thing. You don't mess with Joel. And by the way, she's named after my grandmother. Put the picture back. She's named after my grandmother. So, Aaron says, call yourself, your nickname can be the Milkman. Or are you saying that the Milkman was involved here? Well, my Milkman is of Middle Eastern descent. I don't think the Milkman or the Mailman. Anyway, yeah, she's precious. Thank you. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you guys Saturday. Y'all have a good one. Peace.